This is my worked problem number 4 for the thermocharette, number 2. Now, second. The fuck? All right, this is my worked problem number 4 for the thermocharette number 2. Now, we have a tank that contains argon at 600 degrees Celsius and has 200 kilopascals at the gauge. The argon is cooled in the process by heat transfer to the surroundings such that argon reaches a final equilibrium state at 300 degrees Celsius. Determine the final gauge pressure of the argon. Assume atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascals. Now, first off, we have to know that the absolute pressure is equal to the gauge pressure plus the atmospheric pressure. You can't forget about the atmospheric pressure. Now, first, we know that our gauge pressure is 200 kilopascals, and our atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascals. Therefore, our absolute pressure is going to equal 200 plus 100 equals 300 kilopascals. Now, since we know that argon is an inert gas, we can assume it's ideal. And then, since we know it's ideal, we can use the ideal gas law. We also know that it's a closed tank, so volume is constant. Therefore, we can ignore volume and set up the equation P2 absolute equals P1 absolute times T2 over T1. Now, we know that T2 is 300 degrees Celsius and T1 is 600 degrees Celsius. So we know these variables. We can plug them all into our equation, and our absolute pressure P2 is going to equal 300 times 573 Kelvin. We actually have to change these to Kelvin. It's going to be 573 Kelvin and 873 Kelvin because we're working the ideal gas law. 573 Kelvin. Now we know that our P2 absolute is going to be 196.907 kilopascals. Write that a little bit neater. 196.907 kPa. Now that we have the P2 absolute, we have to solve for the final gauge pressure. So we have to go back to our original equation, which said the gauge pressure equals the absolute pressure minus the atmospheric pressure. So you have to remember that P2 of the gauge is going to be P2 absolute minus the atmospheric pressure. So knowing all this, we can plug in all our values, and we'll get 196.907 minus 100 kilopascals. And our gauge pressure is going to be 96.907 kilopascals. Therefore, our answer is the final gauge pressure of the argon gas is 96.907 kilopascals.